So recently I was asked by a subscriber, in fact by Rudolph Nell, he wanted to know if I could do a video on the use of using fractals with a supply and demand approach. So in this video today, I'm actually going to go through the use of fractals in 3 different ways with supply and demand. So if that is going to be helpful in your trading, then stay tuned for the rest of this video. I'll be back right after this. So welcome back, supply and demand traders, to the channel. I'm Jonathan, the founder of Norfolk FX Trader, where I share with you my tips and tricks to become that better supply and demand trader. Now, as I said in the intro of this video, we're going to be talking about fractals and how you can use 3 different ways of use of the fractal in your supply and demand trading. So hopefully you're going to have some great content in this video. And if you are looking forward to watching this video, don't forget to give me that thumbs up. It'll let me know that you're enjoying this content. So let's go straight over to those charts. So we're on the Euro-USD pair. And the first thing I want to do is go through exactly how to apply the fractal onto your charts and explain exactly how a fractal is formed. So to add fractals, you need to go to Insert, then go down to Indicators, then go to Beale Williams and Fractals. Now this is based on an MT4 platform. Click OK and you'll see it's going to place all the fractals onto your chart. Now a fractal is not formed until we have 2 lower highs to the left and to the right of this pivot high. Now when this bearish candle closes, it will create this fractal. Yes, it's already drawn on your chart, but if this candle now goes straight up as a bullish candle, there would not be a fractal on the chart. So be aware that it is a lagging indicator and it will only actually draw a fractal once you have those 2 lower highs when looking at a fractal from a high, or obviously you will have 2 high lows to the left and 2 high lows to the right when creating that low on the fractal. So that is exactly what a fractal will look like on your charts. Now how can we use fractals? We're going to learn in this video today 3 ways of using the fractal. One is going to be using fractals to find and draw those best zones of supply and demand on your charts. Number 2, we're going to look at exactly how to use fractals for market structure in your trading. And 3, well, you'll find out on the 3rd one once you watch to the end of this video. So let's go over and look at fractals with the use of drawing out your areas of supply and demand. So basically when we see the market, we're going to use these fractals as our turning point. So this is a turning point, and this is a turning point to the downside, to the upside. This fractal high here, we will ignore. We're not going to use this fractal for anything. We're just looking for new fractal highs that form. And again, this fractal here, let me just highlight that one. This fractal here, we will not use that fractal to draw out an area of demand. What we need to see is a fractal high formed, then creating a new higher low fractal, breaking that fractal high. That is then going to give us our area of demand. So let me go through and demonstrate exactly what I mean. Now to do this, I'm going to start from this high, work our way down and then back up on this chart. It's a simple technique and it's going to help you to easily and quickly identify areas of supply and demand on your charts with the use of fractals. So when we see this fractal high formed, when it removes this area, this fractal low, and this is going to come into the second part when we talk about market structure, and it breaks through this low, it's going to leave us this area of supply. Now because this market didn't make another fractal here first, we're not going to draw this out as an area of supply. We're going to ignore that zone, wait for the market to continue down, pull back, make a new lower high in the fractal and continue lower. This is then going to allow us to draw out a new area of supply. And that's exactly how we're going to look at doing this. So once you see this high, this low, and again this lower high, we break down once again, you could actually draw out this area once it breaks this low. So you could have caught a trade. Let me just back everything off. And let's go through that again. When this low here was broken by this bearish candle, you could have drawn out this area of supply using fractals. Okay, so once you understand this, and this candle here wicks to the downside, we have a pullback on this bullish candle, and that's exactly where you could have caught a trade with either set and forget strategy or the use of confirmation entry. Now, if you're new to supply and demand and you're not sure what those types of entries are, I'll leave links above now to the two videos, which is that set and forget strategy and the confirmation entry. Now, the confirmation entry is a 3-part video series. To start with the first video, which is all about those trends within trends in trading Forex. So once the market comes down, we make this fractal low. So we have this lower high has been formed. We have this fractal low until that fractal has been removed, this one here. Unless, of course, we had this fractal and another new high-low fractal, then you could have used that as a pullback and you would have drawn a new area of demand. Now, obviously, this didn't happen. So the next step is once we see this previous high being removed, this fractal high here, and the market continues up, we can then draw our area of demand. This is our area of demand that we can draw. So if the market was to come back to this area of demand, is where we look for a buy trade. Now, as this didn't happen, we created this demand zone right here as the market broke up, created this fractal high, pulled back, and continued higher. This is where we would draw out our area of demand. So you could draw this demand zone. Now, the market does come back into this demand zone. We do have a manipulation here in the market. Now, that is something that you'll learn at the end of this video with the third way of using fractals. So if you want to understand what I mean by this, keep watching to the end and you'll see exactly how you can use those fractals at a different way of looking at the markets. There is an area of demand which is created. We then break this high, creating this fractal low, and we can then draw out this area of demand. It's a simple technique like this. We then continue higher, we pull back, we make another new fractal low, and we break to the upside. You would then draw out this area of demand. You can see the market comes back in a couple of occasions. So that is this simple way of using fractals to actually draw out your areas of supply and demand. Now, it does mean that you will not be looking to draw those rally-based rallies and drop-based drop zones. And in fact, if you want to understand more on that subject, I'll leave two videos above now for you to go through and learn about exactly how to look and identify those zones and how you can look to trade them as well. But this video is about using fractals and to show you how you can find those turning points in the market, which are the best supply and demand zones, in my opinion, with the use of those fractals. Now, that is the first way you can look at using fractals. Now, the second way, we're going to look at market structure. Now, just like the use of the supply and demand, drawing the zones out, what we're looking for again is when we see the market making this high, made this higher low from this low, we need to see this area of market structure broken before we can draw area of supply. Do you see where I'm going with this now? Now, this is using fractals to your advantage with market structure and drawing out your zones. So what we need to see is the market dropping through, breaking this low, which is an area of market structure. When we drop down, we leave this market structure. We then create this low, which is in a market structure once again. And then we create this low here, which is an area, as a minor area of market structure, but it's still market structure. As you can see, this was that area where we see that candle breaking the low by the piercing of the low of that zone, then left this area of supply where we could have caught an entry, as I said earlier on, that set and forget strategy or that confirmation entry. So continuing watching this market coming down, this became your last area of market structure. Now, based on a reversal, you would need to see that area removed, and then once it was, this became your area of market structure. As the market continues up, we create this area of structure, this low. Now, this was in fact manipulation of that low. We then continue higher, breaking this area of structure, leaving this low. And again, we break market structure once again with this low, And then eventually we have this high which was not broken, and you see the market went lower. So you can use fractals to identify very, very quickly on your charts those areas of market structure. Now, if you want to learn more on market structure, there was that video, Understanding Market Structure in Forex, in that 3-part video series with that confirmation entry. A good understanding of a market structure is key to actually being profitable in the markets, but it's how you use it with supply and demand. Just understanding market structure on its own is not going to make you profitable. You need to bring everything together. So that is how you can apply the second technique with the use of market structure. It's when you apply all this together is how you're going to start finding a trade. Now, the last way we're going to look at is the manipulation in the market. And we're going to look at this area of price, but where we see the highs and lows showing you the fractal points, these are going to give you areas where you can look for buys and sells with a manipulation in the market. The way I see it, those big orders are sitting above those daily highs and lows. And that is where you're going to find a true reversal in the market. Now, going with a trend is a different scenario because we're looking for the market to come back to an area of demand. We're looking for a buy. And that is something you can learn in how to determine a trend with supply and demand. That is another video that I've created in this channel, so I'll leave a link above now for you to go through and watch that video. It's a great video to help understand the way the trends move with supply and demand. But let's now look at this area. So let's now just remove everything off the chart, and I'm going to bring price back. And what it is we're looking for, in fact, let me go to the pound US dollar because I'll be able to show you this much better on the pound USD. So we're on the pound US dollar pair, and what I want to show you now with the use of fractals is when we see these fractals all forming in the chart, you start drawing out these lines. So you see all these lines that I've got drawn. We have now basically 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one back here, 5 fractals in the market we can draw. Now, what I want to show you is when we have all these levels together, perhaps not this first one, but these 3 here and this one back here, when they all form very close together, there is an area where you can find a manipulation in the market. And this is where you can capture a great reversal on a trend. And you can see the market is pushed up with this one wick to the upside, breaking all of those previous fractal highs. And then you see the market drops away quite heavily. Understanding this one technique and applying this in your trading is going to change everything that you've ever understood in the markets. Now, this is something that you can learn within my new course coming out soon this year, and that is Forex Domination. But to get Forex Domination, you have to be enrolled and gone through and completed the Advanced Supply and Demand Training course. And right now, there's no better time to take that course with a £300 discount on that course. And if you want to capture that course, I'll leave a link below in the description of this video for you to go through and get the course with a massive £300 discount for my subscribers in this channel. Now, when we see the market showing this manipulation, let me just remove everything. I want to place a line on the chart. We're going to mark off this last high where we see the highs broken with this one candle. Now, when this happens right here on this one candle is where you will then go to a lower time frame. You can either wait for the manipulation to happen and then look for an entry, or you can look to enter on the actual manipulation in the market itself. So we're going to go down now to a 1 hour time frame first. Let's go to the 1 hour, bring the price back. And this is where you're going to find the manipulation where it happens on this candle right here. Now I'm going to have to zoom in to really show you exactly what happens here. So let me just mark this off and we'll go close into that chart. Really need to be close in to show you exactly what happens. So we can see that this is our breakout candle. This is where the manipulation has happened. Well, what we're then waiting for is for the low of this candle to be broken, which you can see happens on this candle right here. And then we'll be looking for the market to give us that pullback to sell. Now you can either wait on this breakout and then look for a reversal, which we have right here on this candle. So you can see we break and then we have a pullback with a reversal candle where you could have sold the market. That's the use of just one candlestick pattern entry. Or you can go down to a lower time frame right here and you'll look for a smaller time frame entry. Now what I mean is by going down, let's say, to a 15-minute chart. And what we're looking for is when the market breaks, and again, you would apply, this is yours. Oops, just let me draw that again. My mouse is going funny. So we need to see this low broken, because this is our last push up. That is broken out with this candle. Then you can draw the last area. So we have, this is our big zone. So we're going to mark off from this high to our last bullish candle, which is this one right here. And you can see the market breaks out. We then pull back into this area of supply which has been created, and look at the market. You've captured that entry and it's dropped off. Now, if you wasn't sure about this, with a supply and demand approach, you will learn exactly how to do this type of trading in that advanced supply and demand trading course, or even the Forex Trading Made Easy course. If you want to learn these concepts, it's all packed within those courses. You can see that you could even have waited for a candlestick pattern after it came into that zone and taken a trade and the market fell away. But all this came from understanding the manipulation in the market with the use of those fractals. So that is 3 ways you can use fractals in Forex trading with a supply and demand approach. Now over to you traders, what are you going to look at using first? Are you going to use fractals to draw out those areas of supply and demand? Or are you going to use those fractals for your market structure? Or are you actually going to use those fractals to find those manipulations in the market as we went through just recently? Let me know by leaving a comment below which way you are going to use these fractals in your trading. And as normal, I thank you for watching this video to this point. And if you are still watching, let's shake up those comments once again. Leave one comment below saying fractals. Just put in fractals in that comment so I know that you've watched this video right the way to the end. And if you have watched the video to the end, I thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to give me that thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. It helps me know that you're enjoying these videos and I can continue to do more like these in the future. And once again, thank you Rudolph for that suggestion for this video. I've actually gone away and done that video straight away. It's a great idea for the use of fractals with supply and demand. Now, if you want to go on to more education, there'll be a video popping up right now. Here it is for you to go through and learn more about that ready, base ready, and drop, base drop in the market.